Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is the Spawn Podcast. My name is Wise Kenya International, coming to you all the way from Nairobi. Currently speaking, we are at Parklands Baptist Church, and I would love to introduce my special guests this time. Very anointed people who are eloquent and know what they say and mean. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the amazing people. I'll start with the gentleman.
Yeah, what's up everyone? My name is DJ Waimas. Yeah, I'm super excited to be here.
Hi guys, my name is Livia, call me Livy. I'm very happy to be here and to roast this man. Female power.
Female power indeed. Yeah, so today we are speaking about a very significant or important topic. Starting from Waimas.
Yeah.
When was the last time you had a relationship? Tuanzie hapo kwanza.
The last time I had a relationship was about 4 years. It's a long time. But the last time I had a situationship,
Ulikuwa unadu kwa ulikuwa unadu nini?
I think I'll be honest, like this year, so like a month ago or something.
A few days ago.
3 hours ago.
We're working on ourselves. That's all I'll say.
Situationship.
Yeah.
1 month ago. Or a few hours ago.
Why did that one end, by the way?
The relationship or the situationship?
Both.
It wasn't your situation.
Ship or after the relationship.
Situationship, to be honest, and people too.
Allah?
Yeah. So about the situationship. So saying a situationship is a relationship that is not defined. Yeah.
In what way?
Then what's the difference between that and friendship?
That's a bit deeper.
Because a friendship is also a relationship that can go beyond, but is not defined because bado mko tu hapo.
No, but you know if you're friends. You know if you're friends with someone.
There's a difference between a relationship, a situationship, an FWB, and a relationship. Those are 4 different categories. Okay? Those are 4 different categories.
Hiyo initially inakani kama.
Friendship is where me and Waimas, we are friends. That's why people say there's between friends and best friends. Friends you can know each other with. We can know each other's names when we work, period. And then we just call it the day we're bored. Where are you? We go for lunch. Just like to catch up. But my best friend, someone who knows all my secrets, who today if she dies, I'm dying with her because she cannot say my secrets. That's the people who know you inside and out. It's not the people if she's dying. If I'm dying, she's dying with me. Like that. A situationship and a relationship. A situationship is now, it depends. Because there can be a situation where I like him, he likes me. Okay? But we have some, let me say we've been intimate at some point, or done something fishy, like not fishy, but we've done something that is beyond a relation, that's supposed to be relationship status, but we none of us have recognized it. That's a situationship.
You're messing with my head. How can you say? There's one thing about ladies. Ladies can see if a guy is into them a mile away.
Yes.
There's a way you can know.
But
yes.
You don't know. But
I'm
now,
very correct.
I agree with what you're saying. But now the question I have is, how are you saying that both of you are clueless of what is going on? I am sure the guy might be clueless, but the lady is never clueless.
That's the point. But as a woman, I can make a scenario of I raise this issue of why aren't you official, why aren't we like boyfriend and girlfriend? Then it'll be like, oh, I don't need to be a public thing, I'm already for a relationship. So in short, that's how most of the time, let me say friends with benefits, that's where FWB has come from, because, and friends with benefits is, we are friends, but then again, friends with benefits, and in the background, we are intimate all the time, which is giving girlfriend boyfriend vibes, but we're not, because a relationship is where you have claimed me as your girlfriend and I've claimed you as my boyfriend. A relationship is where we're working as a relationship, but we're not claimed in any way. None of us have claimed each other. If the worst part in a relationship is because if he's a jealous type and a possessive type, if he says we're talking to you, he'll get jealous and possessive. But in the same manner, if he comes to me and I'll tell him, you're not my boyfriend, you've not claimed me. All we do is be intimate in the background and nothing else we've done. So you're not my boyfriend, literally. So I don't know why you're saying you're mine and you've not claimed me in any possible way. Tell the world I'm yours. Don't tell me you're mine at your music. I'm in the sheets and in public. I'm nothing to you. That's the difference.
Yeah, love to know how. Okay, what's the best? Okay.
No, sana na hii story. Ulikuwa unatuambia the reason as to why that But the situationship umesema it's still going on.
It's still going on.
Manze.
Hey, sawa. So,
Yeah.
do you desire for it to advance to be more than
Hey, that's why Lisa no. Hey, you're smart in that one like ayo ionekani.
That question is tricky. Just leave it there.
tuiache tu hapo. Asikuwe anaona aone oh, so
It might be. We might be going somewhere.
Aha, so the previous one, the
Relationship.
now.
Yeah. Well, what made it end?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now let's start with what were the red flags you noticed and ignored?
Yeah.
Because a relationship doesn't just end like that. It starts somewhere.
Yeah. Me, I'll be honest. I think for most relationships, I think there are those relationships I didn't take an extra step. I just left it as
Putting a pin in that.
yeah,
To come back
yeah,
to later.
Like I didn't go far forward with it. It was just there for the vibes.
So you're the problem.
Kuna zingine nitasema was the problem.
Okay.
But zingine pia the chick was the problem because like the one I remember is the lady had, but this was kitambo kidogo, it was high school days. She had a boyfriend. Her boyfriend was a year ahead of me.
Mhm.
And alikuwa namaliza shule. Alikuwa form 3, chali yake alikuwa form 4. So later on she came and told me, hey, but then I have a boyfriend. And he was like, you're capping. She's like, no, I'm serious. My boyfriend is anamaliza shule. So she's like, akimaliza kuna venye I'll just have to move on. I'ma move.
Like go with him
with
and leave
and
you.
stuff. So yeah, I didn't believe it. No, because I also had a friend who knew the Chile. So she's like, why must this girl is chochari? So me kidogo there, I'm giving myself hopes. Kidogo. By the time the day is finishing, enyewe akasonga nayo. So and alafu nilifeel pia alikuwa toxic too. She was very toxic kwangu. But yeah, so hizo zingine I didn't. Alafu nimejipata kwa hii issue ya situationships because this is honestly not the first one. I won't lie. So kumekuwa na zingine also.
Hebu ngoja kwanza. This is not wait. So in that first relationship,
Yeah.
the Chile genuinely did you dirty, okay?
Yeah.
But in this scenario, the rest when you're shida, you're the problem.
Yeah.
You're the one who's not committing to the relationship.
Alafu wanapata machali wanapitana au machali wanapitana wao. So
You brought up a very good topic. Thank you. Again, this is a problem.
What?
He's basically given a very good example. Okay. Situationship. Okay. They're supposed to be dating, but they are not. He's not claimed anything. But then again, a woman is very simple. Show a woman. A woman is very, very, very
That's
simple.
a lie which a woman is not simple.
A woman is very simple.
There's a book on how to understand women. The book is from here to here high, and it's empty. So you can never say a woman is simple. A woman is
A
not
woman is
simple.
very simple. A woman is simple when you invest yourself to understand the
No.
woman.
How do you
the
change
same
personalities
then
then
way?
when you get periods?
Who said you? Hey, my brother,
You can't be simple.
then get them.
Maybe you're simple.
There's a
That's what
reason.
we are saying.
There's a reason.
Women can never be simple.
Nah.
Even think about this. The book of Job. Every single person in Job's family, the children and the other guys left him. The children died. Why did the wife remain? Why did the devil not see it fit to take the wife away? I think that's a food for thought. Think about Eve.
Hey, no.
You cannot come and say women are simple. If
Women
women
are
were simple, Adam would know when Eve is speaking. Then I taught her she's not supposed to interact with anything outside.
But he was watching.
No.
He was watching.
That's why I'm saying.
No,
women
against
are not
Mamisha.
simple.
Against
Men are
Mamisha.
simple. Men are simple because they are logical. Adam alikuwa hapo. I would know this nikifika huko hivyo mbinguni niulize Adam. But my logical mind tells me this. The guy was there standing, see you?
Watching.
And yes, he was there. besides Eve.
Looking.
We have not said he wasn't there. I am agreeing with you.
So he was
I'm agreeing with
looking.
you. But listen.
Against Mamisha.
Listen. The woman started having conversations with the serpent.
Yes.
The man in my head, because I'm a dude, I would think this woman has been taught by me. the precepts of God, the commandments, what God has told us to do and not to do. So, since she is the bone of my bone and the flesh of my flesh, I have full confidence in her that she can handle this situation. Then what goes ahead? The woman saw that the apple was good for, it was, then she decided to take off. You can never tell me women are simple. If women were simple, logical men would understand them.
Logical
We
men
cannot
do understand them.
We can never. If
Not
a man-
don't put yourself as we. You're not one of them.
Let me tell you this: if a man comes here and tells you they understand women, they are lying.
How do you think?
Which man have you ever found that told you they understand? There's a difference between having different relationships to the point where you can see a pattern, and then interacting with different females and coming to the conclusion that you don't know anything about females.
No woman is the same. Let's start there. The same way no man is the same. Even though you say all men are dogs, not all men are dogs. Because everyone can be a dog in their own way. Okay? Very good example of Adam and Eve. Sawa. You're talking to she's a human being, all right? But first of all, though you claim the man has to do ABCD, sawa. The man is the epitome of masculinity and command. Why didn't Adam stop her?
That's the problem.
Why didn't he stop? Exactly. So you men are the problem.
No. But saying
Wait,
Christ is also the problem.
No, Christ and God are two different things.
No,
Christ,
no, no,
Jesus,
no.
and
Think
man are
about
two different
this.
things. Because
Do you know Christ is called the second Adam?
yes,
Do you know that? Why?
I don't know why.
Because he did the thing that Adam failed to do, showing us the reason as to why when we become Christ-like and fail to be the first Adam, then that puts men in the right position of God. But shida yetu ni we lean back to being the first Adam and not the second Adam.
Why?
The reason as to, because our flesh is fleeting. For all have sinned and fallen short, and this flesh is always in constant enmity against God. It's always seeking to go outside of Christ. Hii kitu tunajua everywhere. Unaamka leo asubuhi, umeomba, unaingia Instagram hivi, nyash. As a man. I don't know for women. But as a man, unaingia hivi na it's always there ready to put you outside of God's will. You understand? And then there's the aspect of Adam was supposed to speak. He did not speak. The same temptation was put in front of Christ. Lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. The same test that Eve experienced in Adam is the same test that Christ experienced. And he overcame. So, the perspective is we should always be seeking to be like Christ and not like Adam. But that was not the main topic. The main topic was kwa hii situation, I can't say that I can understand a woman.
Okay, pause. Why must back me up on this? You've seen videos of where he said period cramps, okay? First of all, shut up about cramps. You know nothing of cramps. Tuanzie hapo. You've seen
That's why I
videos.
said you change the personalities.
No. There are periods of where there's this machine where a man can experience period cramps. You can go beyond 2. And once you put at
When
you have to go beyond
I
2.
wasn't
No,
saying
wait.
That it is, I'm understating.
Sijakata.
I wasn't understating.
Sijakata. But imagine a woman is going through cramps, and not every woman's cramps are the same. Example of myself. And if I go through cramps, I can't walk. I have pain everywhere. I didn't puke a lot. I have migraines. I can see. If I see, I'm seeing two people at once. So tell me, even if you come and you know I'm on my periods and you know how I act during my periods. Of course, it won't be the same. The same way if you have a bad mood, you will shout at me. You will tell me, and
for men, we don't have periods.
that's exactly my
the whole
point. Exactly. So in this scenario, why can't you be understanding to the point where there's a reason she has that mood?
there is.
Because they are going through something that you can never experience. So you can't say I know how you feel. You can't say I know how you feel in your shoes.
No, I
because
can
you can
never
never experience how. There's a reason why women have different moods on their periods because it's like period is like pregnancy. For example, in pregnancy, men have a difficult time when women is being pregnant because they say, I don't know what my woman wants. First she's pregnant. First she's full. She wants to go out. She wants to sit down.
This is the point
There's a reason because
I'm trying to make.
you're comparing yourself. She's carrying a baby, okay? The baby is messing with her hormones as well. So she has a doubt because her body is still adjusting to carrying a human baby, carrying it for 7 months. Her body adjusting to everything. Also, her body is also going to be confused.
Are you not agreeing with what I was saying?
I'm not
So
because
what are you
because
saying?
you're trying to say that the way women are going through is something that because to repeat why do we have them? It's a normal thing of
That's
life.
not what I said. What I said was, men, please understand. Internet, do not take what I said out of context. what I am saying is this: men cannot understand women.
But you can try
There is
to
that.
invest yourself.
There is that.
But then you're
The reason
placing
as to why-
it.
the reason as to why I brought the menstruation in, the ovulation, is to bring that point home.
Menstruate, menstruation, not
No,
ovulation.
To bring the point home of you guys have a different character when you're not in that period,
Yes.
and you come back to the character after.
Yes.
For men, that can be a very unique situation, because one thing that I also realized, the character also changes. It's not consistent at just because I was like this last month when I was in my periods. That means I'm going to have that same character this month.
Yeah.
I might completely change. This last month I might be very hungry. This month mimi naweza taka tu kupelekwa mahali fulani ama kuchukua chok fulani ama mawe. You know, kitambo ina uko hivyo geto, nimezaliwa Kayole. So pregnant women
Yeah,
used
you
to,
didn't just say where, eh?
pregnant women used to take mawe. Kuna
Yeah.
mawe fulani.
Chumvi.
Yeah,
It has
I don't
salt.
even know what it's called. So that mawe, last month ulikuwa unataka food, this month unataka mawe, next month unataka hata utaki kuona, maybe hata next month utaki kuona chali yako kabisa, unaona tu uso yake unasikia utaki.
Yeah.
Una get?
Yeah.
Now the man is supposed to be responsive to the point where he says, okay, ni sawa, whatever you want, I will. But the man can never come and say, I fully understand my I don't know about husbands and wives because I'm not married yet. I fully understand my girl. You understand? Because at the end of it, I might think I know you until you pull up something else I've never seen. And then I can't start saying that you're a different person because you're in a season that has been there for quite some time, which all people know. You get? So I have to put in grace. So my point was not that we men should not put in the effort of seeking to know their women more, but to understand the worst place to be as a man is to think you have figured your woman out. I have friends who have been married for quite some time and old men who have told me they are still getting to the point of knowing their wives.
Yeah.
Because they got married thinking that they know everything about them. Then 6 months after, they completely see a different person. Then 2 years after, another different person. And then, you know, especially women, after 5 years, a span of 5 to 7, sana 5 years, they completely change their personalities and characters. Kabisa.
But then again, there's a reason why person that something has happened to them that made them change like that.
Sasa sinomana nakwambia, this is the point I'm trying to make. It's easier, actually it's easier for you guys to understand us than for us to understand you.
Yeah.
Because men are
May
logical.
I have a question
Uh-huh.
in relation to that? Do you think it's the same way, the way guys are trying to understand women? Do you think also for you guys, I mean for ladies rather, you also try to understand men?
Okay.
Men have their faces and stuff like that.
Honestly, and I mean, let me be rude. You men are simple. You're very simple because you show everything you need. One thing with a woman, they say a woman is an emotional person. From birth is an emotional person. For a man, you guys basically you don't like showing your emotions, okay? But either way, you can still find out what you want to know from you. Either number one, we'll just tell you something small and you'll cave in. Or if most, you know how most females get the men to talk, and this is but let me say 18 plus and above. For those who are not 18, scroll away. But most people who, if they just have sex with you, the time you're resting, ushatoboka kila kitu. And for you guys, it's so simple because for you guys, you are basically you talk, and then your friends also don't know to shut up. Because if it's my friends right now, if they talk, they know something I have talked to them about and no one else knows, they will keep it a secret until I tell them it's okay for others to know. But you guys have no solidarity among each other. I'm so sorry. Right now, if I'm dating Waimas, if I call his friend, hi, is so and so with you, I'll know immediately whether he's lying or not. Because there's a certain body language each man has, or each female has. Right now, if you look at me right now, I can easily lie to you and you won't even know I'm lying to you. But in a man, you listen to it because he's just doing weird body movements. The one thing that always gives a man away is body language, and there's a certain way. Let me say from my brother, I'm giving myself of my brother. I will always know it's just by looking in his eyes. He doesn't have to do anything. Looking at him, I'll know he's cheating, because there's a certain way he'll behave 1 minute ago, and in 3 seconds he's changed and started doing weird stuff with his body. So for a man, it's very simple to understand them because they give an open body language of everything we need to know. But for a female, it's more complicated because for a female, it needs to be, I cannot, because we see, if we are dating you, it means we're giving ourselves to you. okay, we cannot be vulnerable at that moment, because you see, in this relationship, you have
Right.
you have nothing to lose. We do. Because right now, no, hear me out. Because right now, let's say I'm dating, let's say I'm dating, okay? Me and my boyfriend, we're very intimate, we're very, let's say by chance, I get pregnant by mistake. You know, you can easily tell me that's not my baby. I never knew you. And right now, if you do
Is it the same thing
paternity
for ladies
test,
in regards to abortion? How many times does a lady or women nowadays come and say that their body, their choice, so they can decide whatever they want to do with their body? They decide that they've gotten pregnant and they want to abort their baby. The
Yes.
man has no say.
because a woman cannot, you cannot force a woman to carry a baby.
Then why should you force a man to keep the child?
We not force, but we told you, we asked you, this is your baby. Do you first thing you do, naruka, okay? The woman is carrying the baby. You're not carrying the baby. The only thing you do is inside but then you men all you do is inside the seed. That's it. Everything else the woman is doing. Forget when she's pregnant, her body is changing. She's gonna be the one who's gaining weight. She's gonna be the one who's going through depression. Her body is changing. Her mind is changing. She has to, by the time the baby is born, she has to go the mentality of I'm becoming a mother. I can't do the things I used to do when I was young right now, because there's something with men, and I'm not being rude, but most of the time whenever men reach 30s, 40s, if you're not trying to be loyal about one person, you tend to have sugar babies, because there's some things that your wife does not have features simply because she's given birth. And that period of where the woman is pregnant, and by the time she's giving birth to the point where the kid is like 6 months, that's the period where most men cheat. Because that time the woman is so insecure about her body, she's getting to the period of trying to manage the baby, she has dark eye circles, the hair is diffusing to hair, the body is not bonding at all. But then again, instead of you being there to support the woman, you go out and cheat on them without being there for them. So at that scenario, you guys, instead of being there, you're not being there. So imagine that woman, by the time she's thinking, I carry this baby and then this one does this to me. Lord forbid. And before that time the abortion comes, they've told you and you will say no. Why should she keep the baby? She has no support. Her parents will obviously tell her to go away. You're literally saying that the abortion happens because, number one, she can't tell her parents. Her parents will kick her out. Or if her parents are understanding, when the baby is born, she has to go get a job, she has to support herself, she can't go to school. The things she's supposed to do when she's young, she can't. She's literally stopping her life to carry a baby given by you. You're supposed to raise it with her. But when you say no, what do you want her to do? Obviously, if you're not someone who's ready for a baby in mind, first scenario, abort. I'll still about the baby later. Even before God, it's wrong, but sometimes I understand women, but I don't, but I do. Because right now, as for you right now, you'll give her a baby and you say no. You'll go on with life, you'll go to school, you'll go to university, get a job, get married to someone else, you'll forget they've existed, right?
I think one of the challenges that from what you just said right now, one of the challenges I have seen over time is people fail to look at the foundation of everything. It's always about blaming someone else. From the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Think about this from this story that you just given me right now.
Mm-hmm.
You've spoken about the woman, the pain she goes through and all that.
Yeah.
Mimi, the question I would have is, Kwani, you are having sex alone?
But see, we came to talk to you.
He was there with you.
But I've just said, if you listen to what I said I came and talked to you, you told me no. What do you want me to do?
No,
I came and talked to you about the baby. How are you gonna do about this? How do you feel about it?
But now I think one of the conversations that should start right now, even before that comes, because this is something that happens a lot in regards to people sleeping together, and then the lady realizes that she's pregnant, and then she panics, and then she goes and tells the dude. The dude realizes that, oh, I can't be a father right now. So, the best scenario for most men, because this is also a programming. This is something that people see in social media. So that's the first reaction they actually give. Are you sure that baby is mine? You get. But now the question I would have for both of them is, when or before you got into this position of sleeping together, what had you agreed? Because it's not, the man did not sleep alone. The man slept with the lady. But now the lady has gotten pregnant, and I agree it's a whole other universe, and I cannot understand. You get? So I can't say that I understand what you're going through. I don't. But now from the man's perspective, if the two of you slept together, you should fully accept the consequences that come after. It may be you are not pregnant. It may be you get an STD. It may be you get pregnant or something else. But the two of you should actually consider that before you get into that relationship. Because I think one of the reasons as to why we are going through a lot of identity crisis and people changing their characters to a completely different person because they ended up aborting a child because some guy decided that they don't want to take responsibilities and be a man, is because people do not focus on the foundation of relationships before they start building that relationship. And it's mostly not even about love. And the conversation today is love. What do you think is the difference between love and lust in a relationship?
For me, I think lust is what is perceived as love. By that I mean, it's basically having sexual intercourse and stuff. Yeah, but no, love is where you get to honestly say that maybe the time I'll have sex with you is after I've married you or something like that. Maybe that's how I see it. Or maybe sticking or being loyal to one person. Yeah, that's what love is.
Me, I have so many comments to bash that
Just bring them
definition because okay, I don't disagree that, but okay, love is a connection, lust is desire. Okay, it depends now in what you've given me an example of. Sawa, me and you are together. We obviously talked about it, but the question is, when it actually happens, why do you let chicken out? When that day you keep telling me if I have a baby you will marry me, you'll take care of me, but the day it happens you run away and then you say you're supposed to be my boyfriend. What the hell is that? Because you expect me to put my life down for you. When it actually happens, you tell me I don't know you. I don't even know who you are. You're a stranger. That baby is not even mine. You could have gone and cheated, mind you, knowing very well that probably, let's say if it's me, that was my first relationship with you, and then you say I've gone out and cheated, knowing very well I have no experience of anything except with you, and then you dare say I went and cheated, you don't know me, this baby is a mistake, and then what do you think the woman will go through? And then the woman is thinking, I've gone to him, I've tried to talk to him, and he said no in caps, bold, exclamation marks, and a strike through. And in every manner possible, he said no. So the first thing I want to do, the woman is going to think, okay, me, I'm not ready to have a baby, so what I want to do about the baby? Because my parents, they're going to disown me. My aunties cannot take me in because they also have families of their own. My grandparents, too old to take care of a baby unless they are the Mother Teresa type. But in this scenario, you cannot tell me, ati mimi nikena mtoto, I have no financial stability, I will literally be in the streets. So why would I sacrifice myself for the baby? Well, people are like, mental is like, I'm still gonna get pregnant either way. But what they don't understand is because they can still lose their fertility or how to get pregnant in the process. Well, that's a very rare chance, but still it happens. So in this scenario, we need to understand that love and desire, love and lust, is a scenario of where are those two in the relationship for love, or is it mostly just for satisfaction? Because if for satisfaction, they're basically friends with benefits, honestly. Or is this a situationship? But if you're in there for love, if you're ready to I'm pregnant, you'll be like, okay. You'll be shocked by like, okay, let's sit down and calm down. When you know you are calm, now you talk everything out. But if the first intention in your mind is to say that's not my baby, where would they keep your baby then? Where would they keep the baby? Because unless I'm the strong type to say, you don't want it, then I'll keep it. And the day you come for that baby, I will chase you. Because whenever men refuse the baby, they come 15 years later, I want to see my son, I have custody, I'm the paternity father. You bring a whole other basis of trauma again into the life that they fought so hard to reject. Because right now you've left the woman with the baby, okay? She decided, I'm going to raise this baby, I'm going to make them go to school, they're going to do ABCD, they're going to be successful, I don't even think about their dad. The kid loves it, about their father. And right now if you told me, I'll say he left me. When he found out pregnant, he left me. And I decided to keep the baby. So if that man comes 15 years later, mind you, she's trying to forget and forgive him and trying to remove all that hate she's built because she struggled on her own. Then the man comes 15 years later, married, successful, has a wife, has kids, and says, I want to see my son. Do you think I let you see your son?
Yeah.
I will not. I will not. I wouldn't.
Why?
I will take time, but at some point I will, but I would not. Because how dare you come 15 years later when I have raised him by myself, I've taken him to school, he has a job, he is working, then you come when you know he's successful, and then you say, what if he was a bum? Would you come and say it to him?
Have you seen situations where...
No, answer the question. If he was a bum, if you didn't raise him, would you still come and say, that's my son? Not everyone would do that.
No. So now, okay, not everyone.
Have you been through all this situation?
No.
So now, when you're
surprisingly now.
So now I've gone through such a situation. Not me personally, but I have someone who's gone through it. From this perspective, you've spoken from the female side. I understand. Now there's this other situation where this guy and this lady get into a relationship. It's not a situationship, it's a relationship. They actually even moving together. The girl gets pregnant, gets a baby. Realizes, oh, this guy is a bum. The things I want to accomplish in life, he cannot give me. He finds another dude. He leaves the guy with the child. The guy is left raising the child. What can you say about that?
I said that the woman is stupid. I said that woman is selfish, self-centered, and only cares about her own ambitions and emotions than that of the child itself.
But do you think society will treat that woman the same way the society will treat the man if such a situation happened?
Some of them, yes, will. Not all society,
Very
but
few
most of
people.
them will.
Do
But
you
you
know
see,
why? Let me give you an example.
because it's a
It's a
woman.
very controversial thing, by the way. Let me just tell you guys this. There's a podcast that recently happened. Na msinimalize watu.
Aki isikwe hiyo unataka ku
Nitaisema.
Usiseme.
Msinimalize kama mnataka kunimaliza.
hata super nikugonge nayo. Jaribu.
There's this podcast of Boina and what's this guy called?
Sikukumbushi. We're not into that topic.
Andrew Kibe. Siwezi sahau.
Ati Andrew Kibe.
It's Andrew Kibe.
I know.
It is a podcast about Boina and Andrew Kibe. So now, this podcast, I'm not saying that I support the guy's ideals, but I'm just saying the way the comments, if you look at the comments after the video, the whole society is against this dude.
Exactly.
Why? Because the guy sexualized Boina when they were speaking. Said that this lady is a baddie. When you watembea hapa mazee, mse sijui nini. There are a lot of sexual conversations about her body.
Yeah.
But now, one thing that I was looking for in the comments and I didn't see was the way Boina was dressed. Didn't she know that Andrew Kibo was coming to that show? She knew. And she still decided. And I don't believe she's a psychopath. I do not believe. I fail to agree.
Everyone
She
is psychopath.
Everyone is a psychopath.
Everyone is psychopath.
Okay,
Even
so
men
now
are
I'm
psychopaths.
not a woman, so now
Even
what
men
would
are
you say?
psychopaths.
No, but I'm speaking about that specific situation because she specifically knew that Andrew Kibo was coming to the show. And she has seen his content. And she clearly said that I do not agree with your ideas and your opinions.
Because every woman is against Andrew Kibe.
But now, if you really ask yourself about the things that were happening in that conversation and the questions Andrew Kibe was asking Boina, and you come and sit down here and you just focus on saying, no, you see, Andrew Kibe has sexualized, look at everything that society has brought us to believe right now. Every single song that is out there in the world is secular
Yes.
and is about sex.
Yes.
Nothing, as in si ati mapenzi ati oh I must sijui I saw you somewhere, I love you, sijui nini. It's purely about sex. Bring your nyash here, sijui I do what with it and do what with it. And then Andrew Kibe has a very, okay, most people would not call that very intelligent until you reach a specific point.
Yeah.
But now in that specific situation, they looked at it from a point of this guy was trying to sexualize Boina and all that. But people don't look at it from that perspective of, okay, if you know Waima's character. It's not like he hasn't produced over 500 videos, so you can't say that this is his consistent behavior. He did not change himself. That was him. And Festive invited him there because they know that character is what people need right now in this current generation. And then the drama that would escalate when they put Boina and Andrew Kibe in the same podcast. So now the main conversation is about the guy, which is what you are saying right now.
Yeah.
The guy. People fail to realize both of them contribute that episode to be blown up at a specific point because of their different characters. And both of them have flaws. I would have said if she did not want Andrew Kibe to sexualize her like that, she would not have worn whatever she had worn. But now you'll come again and tell me, you know, it's my
No. I have a question.
My choice.
I have a question. The way I dress, okay, and the way you dress, okay. Let's go to how you dress. Sawa. The way how men should dress in society. It's supposed to be official. Let me say official wear, like suits. Wait. Let me finish. The way it's supposed to be saying. Most of the time, let me give an example of how Italian men dress, okay? There's suits, there's casual, there's polos, there's khakis, but the way people let me give an example of how Kenyans dress. The trousers are reaching under their ass. the shirts, underwears are reaching here. The shirts are not like, they're not shirts that are good quality. The hair is messy. Some of them are plaiting, some of them are doing the ears, which is not bad, all right. But when it comes to females, so me, I don't judge you. Why should you judge us when we don't judge you? You do what you do. Why do we really?
It's about
No.
assessing a situation.
Sexualizing, but when we do that to you, you get offended. Why?
No.
No.
Think about
Yes
it
or
from
no?
this perspective. You know me, Cindy. Not now, but think of you as Boina and Mimi and Kibe.
Okay.
You know me because you have not here as in knowing, but you know of me.
Yes.
Because you have seen the videos that I produce.
Yes.
You have seen this is how I am. This is how I relate to specific situations and instances. Cindy. And I come to your show. I come to your show and I experience you, and I tell you what is on my mind.
She did it on
You
purpose.
understand?
She did it on purpose.
She did it on purpose.
She knows.
To provoke specific things, because she also knows most of the people, because this is what she said. The majority of people in social media, or even Kenya, is against Andrew. That's why
Yes.
he's been removed.
Yes.
Why?
And to keep it, his content is not making
Because if you
he's
think
a
about it-
narcissistical man
How?
who gives privilege to men rather than, because he thinks women are superior to women. It's like, the Bible page says the man is the head, the woman is the neck. Sawa. But question, the man is the head, sawa. Without this neck, will the head be there? Exactly. But the Andrew places it is like men are God's gift to women. You're not. You're not. The same way God created. Have you heard this story in the Bible of where there's Lilith and there's the Bible where there's Adam and Lilith before Eve? So in the book, there's something called the Book of Enoch where there was Adam, Lilith. They were both created from sand equally. But Lilith, being a woman, and made from the same sand as where she did obey you. So because God could not tolerate that, he needed a woman who's submissive. So removed a rib from Eve to make Eve. Okay? In this scenario, even if I was her, I would provoke him properly. I would do the same thing. Because I know the way, even if I was to come decent, you'd still abuse me being decent. Because it's not no, she cheated on you.
No.
I was like, no. That's all how humans say. Because
I think-
right now, if I'm at home, how most men say,
No,
if
that's an
I'm at
assumption.
home,
That's an
no.
assumption, because
It's
you can't
something I've
say-
seen.
You can't
It's
say,
something
you
I've
can't
seen.
say that and I think I agree with what you are saying. No, but no.
Yes,
Not
you agree.
completely.
No.
From this point,
Yeah,
women
you
are
agreed.
psychopaths. That's what I agree with. But not all of them. I'm saying I don't agree fully because I am not a woman, so I wouldn't say I agree fully.
Yeah.
But since you have said it, I will take it. Because I'm trying to think, if you can dress specifically to provoke me, and you've brought another situation of even if she would have dressed another way, he would still have said something else.
Yes.
Which is something which is...
Even
which
if she was decent.
But now, the question I have is this. To what end do you try to manipulate men? To what
Manipulation works.
To what end?
Admission works if I destroy you, that's when manipulation will stop. The problem with Andrew Kibe is he has been told time and time again what you're doing to these men, because actually men listen to Andrew Kibe, and that's when images are failing outside here. Okay? Because right now, even let me say I'm being told by Andrew Kibe, that day, Lord forgive me, I will dress like a hoe just to provoke that man, because right now I ask him right now.
Does that prove him right?
No, it
Think about
no.
it. Does it prove him right?
Do you know why? Because when I'll tell him, but even if I'll go myself and I bring a friend who's decent, he'll ask me, why can't you be like your friend? Sawa. And I'll ask him, why can't you be like men who are successful in marriages? Why are you not married? Why is your love life? You're giving advice to men when your life is not in
For you
you.
to be successful, you have to be married. Not
No,
saying
no,
I'm
no.
against marriage. I
No,
want to
but
be
if he
married.
talks so much about marriage, why isn't his people talk when they actually have experience from where they've got. Because right now, let me say example of my aunt. And if my aunt was to give a testimony of her marriage, I would listen. Because there's no, she says with the point blank, me and my husband fight, we quarrel, we give each other sentiment for 3 days. But at some point, we'll like, sit and sit,
But
we
I
talk.
think it's very biased for you to come and say that you're going to stereotype him to a point where you do not want to hear anything he has to say
Because
you
I'm-
agree
no.
with most of the things that he says.
We gave him a chance to explain himself.
No.
Why would I
Think
listen to most of
about
his
it from this
videos?
perspective, most ladies, this is most ladies. I don't know about most men, but I know most men listen to Andrew Kibe. Most ladies hate Andrew Kibe.
Not
Hate.
most, every woman
no,
hates.
not every.
Hey,
but I know
every-
people who
Those are not
No.
women. They're not women.
think about this, This is what Andrew Kibe told Boy. Why don't you just do this, Instead of taking the snippets that social media has taken out, like for instance, such a conversation, someone can take a specific part of the things that we were saying here and put on social media, and everyone can start viewing us from that specific footage.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to Andrew Kibe for a long context and a long period of time. So now this is what he said to Boyna. He asked Boina, Boina, have you actually went and watched my episodes, my videos? Boina says, like, she has some, but not the whole way. She starts, anafika mahali hawezi endelea. She stops. Why? For us to have a candid conversation from the point of two mature people, you have to be able to take the things that I am going to say.
Yes.
Because you cannot say that you hate me without listening to what I have to say, because you've come with a perspective that cannot be changed, because this is what the society has said Andukibe is, and I am going with the majority no matter whatever he says, because this is what Boina actually said in that conversation. She came with a perspective of this guy is just messed up.
But forget.
So no matter what he said, she had a set mind.
But forget, no woman goes somewhere without knowing what she's dealing with, okay? Most women who hate Andukibe have listened to one. For me, myself, I've listened to 5 of his podcast, and I hate everything he says.
Okay, so now.
And I didn't even know who he was.
I think I'll agree with you in some way. In the sense that.
No, wait. We said in some way, she's
Ah.
quite discouraged.
In the sense that what you were talking about earlier, like what you were saying, I think for Andukibe, the fact that his marriage, for example, didn't work out well, I think
So he was never married.
he was.
He was married.
Alafu? What happened?
Let me tell you.
No, what
For
happened?
me,
Jibu
for
swali.
me, I
Jibu
would
swali.
love to sit down with such a man that has a failed marriage to learn what went wrong. You understand?
But you
But
see-
don't you think you react out of that bitter?
Yeah.
Okay, let me tell you guys this about human beings.
Hey, Jesus Christ.
Human beings have different characters. The same thing with love. You cannot expect to find you in other people. That's the prerequisite of failure in regards to you and relationships. When you see Waimas, you can't expect Waimas to be the same as me. People will always have different characters because people have gone through different experiences. Meaning, the things that Andukibe has experienced in life has formed who he is. You understand?
In the
And things
negative
that
aspects.
Boina, no, you cannot call it negative because
Because
that
it
is
is.
your perspective. And in this context, there is another country that values such men.
Narcissistic woman.
So now,
And Andukibe is a
and
true
that word
narcissist.
itself is subjective, because even if you start claiming that word,
Okay,
then
I have a question. If Andukibe claims to be the man he is, why didn't he try and fight for his marriage?
that's a
Because
very- that's a
because the only thing me have picked from is Nini. This happened, I left.
Okay.
Then my perspective will be going to change
so
from
now
there.
the question I have
Because
for you is this.
if right
The question
now,
I have for you is this: in the same situation for abortion,
Mm-hmm.
why would the woman not fight for that man to get that baby? And if that man refuses, the woman still continue to go and get the baby.
you're giving a message of, if I fight, I look like a fool. Okay? I'm fighting for you to accept our child. I'm not looks like the fool, because in this generation, if I get pregnant, everyone will believe the male perspective.
No.
Yes, most of the time it is, because right now, let's say me and Roy must.
You know why I'm
Let me say
saying
me
no?
must have
even,
had.
even legally,
Let me
the-
finish.
The government itself would support the woman.
No, let me finish. You're not getting. Society itself, because let me say me and Roy must have slept together. I get his baby. If I tell him right now and he says no, you know he can easily refuse the baby. Yes, the government will come and take the legal course. But before everyone else has already said no, that's already shame upon me.
No, but
Yes,
that's a different
it's already shame. No, listen.
So you're willing
Listen.
not to take, you're in a position whereby you are not going to allow yourself to go through that shame, but you are willing to allow a man to go through that shame.
You're basically twisting everything I'm saying into your own perspective.
No, it's a question I've asked.
No, and me, I'm
I've
asking.
not said
You've
that.
twisted it. You've twisted it very plainly.
Let me explain what I'm saying. I'm saying this. You have said when a woman goes through this experience and the man refuses, there's that shame. Sindio?
There's no shame until the shame comes 15 years later when the kid grows and then they find out, oh my God, this is the babe. That's when the shame comes. But
How is
at
that
because let me tell you something. When let me say I get a baby. I raise the baby by myself. You come 15 years later, let's say you're a bum, you have nothing. You come saying, oh, that's my child. You know the shame is upon you because where were you when the kid was growing?
So you're
Where
saying,
is it?
you're saying that the shame comes in from the
The
context
shame-
of
no.
the man not being someone who the society
Because-
would deem
As
successful.
no, being a father in itself, he was not a father.
A father is not.
Yeah,
a
hey.
father is not related anyhowly
You're not
to
getting.
your worldly income.
Listen, you're basing it on society rather than the three people who are involved, okay? There's the man, the woman, and the baby. Right now, I get pregnant. I come and tell you, I have your baby. You say no. I just would talk. I tell you this I'm doing this time period. I haven't had my period, so this time they told me I'm pregnant. You keep saying no. All of our friends know we're dating. But then because sometimes with men, there's a reason why men, I don't know how it works, but if I go tell your friends, you tell your friends someone would know, they will say they'll literally back you up on your lie. So to me, even before my parents, if I go to my mom and say, this is baby, they'll say, amekata mtoto. My parents will believe me because they know it's the truth, but they'll say, ona amekata, now look at you. The shame before my parents is me as a failure because I got pregnant without planning myself because I don't have a job. I'm not working, I don't have financial stability. And then there's you who probably say you're working, you refuse to take care of us as a baby. So that shame is upon me, the weight is upon me for me to struggle to build myself up. And then most women cannot handle that stress and responsibility of having that baby and when the weight that comes, because being a mother is not easy, especially a single mother with no financial stability. So first that comes to your head, abortion, because I don't have anything to do with this baby, I can't support it, because even if they give birth and give the baby away, it will trip them to the point of no return. Yes, they'll go to school, but they still keep thinking, oh my God, I gave my baby away. For them, it's easier to leave, to do the abortion than actually give away the baby. For them, it's easier because at that point, if it's the early stages, it's not going to be harmful for them. For them, it's so much easier because they'll be like, yes, they'll be depressed for a while, but then again, you forget that now how you did to them will change their perspective of everything at once. You're going to change how their mentality works. You told them you want the baby. That's how they're going to change the perspective of men. That's how most women become lesbians. That's how most people become racist. That's how people become not racist, toxic to men. That's it. If right now someone comes to me and says, yes, that happened to me, I come and say, men are stupid, men are trash, because I had that one experience. That's why most women, the abortion comes first. Because they know I'm doing it for myself. Because if I don't do this, this will be my life. But I came to you. Did I come to you? Did I come to you and tell you I have a baby? You told me no. You refused me in every manner possible. My parents...
Think about this. You said that the lady has autonomy in regards to if the fetus or the baby decides to be born or not die.
Yeah.
So which means you are the one who has the authority to decide whether this baby lives or dies. Is
yes.
that true or not?
True.
That is true. So now selfishness comes in from this perspective. Remove that man from the equation. Kabisa, put responsibility in. Stewardship. The thing that you decided to do, I do not know what reason the guy ingized you box to the point where ukafungwa mguu yako. You guys had sex together. Consensual. Sindio? Did not rape you. Then that means the both of you were having fun at that specific moment.
Yes.
Then why has it turned to be a blame game?
That's what I've just said. No one is kissy. That's what I've just said.
I'm listening.
There's a point where there's a reason why most women cannot handle responsibility of a baby. That's why they think of abortion the first thing. Because not everyone can handle responsibility. I'm going to give an example of my shosho. My shosho had a baby, akachwa. But she chose to stay with the baby, raise that baby, okay. And then later on, bwana anakuja anasema, oh, that's my son because he's successful and has money.
How do you know God is not going to provide for that baby?
I've not refused, but you're not getting the women who cannot handle responsibility. At that point, there's a point where women cannot. Right now, I'm 15. You think I'll be thinking about I want to get married at 15 years?
Maturity now, guys, do not get into any relationship until you're like how old? 23 and above. Mimi siwezi advise mtu aingie kwa relationship kama hujafika 23 years old and above, because you can't say that Valentine's ni kwa tu hapa hivi, which I actually don't believe in Valentine's. That's just a hoax and a marketing strategy for people to get to sell
flowers,
their
chocolates,
and hotels and
wine.
whatnot. But now, looking at it from this perspective, if you do not or if you're not sure who the guy is and you're not ready to settle down, do not have sex with him at the end of the day, because you know men. So umesema unajua, okay, you've said most ladies know men. Sindio?
Yes.
Most ladies know men. So you literally know in most cases, if it comes to the point where you tell the guy that you're pregnant, not in church. After in church, I don't know about church, but mimi najua uko nje. Uko nje mostly wase uruka.
Obvious.
So now the question you should ask yourself is this: when you're going to have sex, what are you thinking of? Because you can't start blaming the guy only, thinking that he was there alone and he's the one who imposed that pregnancy to you. He did not impose that pregnancy to you.
You're taking this the all wrong way, because again, the sex was the two of you. It could have been, when you have sex, a condom can break. Okay, let's say if you're having it bare, he can fail to pull out in time. But then again, the question is, what happens after? Yes, I'm pregnant. Okay, what do we do about it? as a couple, what do we do about it as a couple? Because some people will say you have a baby, okay, let's sit down, relax, cool down, and then think. Because most people, how they do it, and I've seen this with my friends. My friend got pregnant. She went and told her dude, she just said, I'm putting a time of 20 minutes. Let's go cool down, think, then come, we'll talk after 20 minutes. They solved that issue simply. The chick was like, I'm scared. Most of the time when it comes to pregnancy, first thing that comes to mind, fear. They feel like I'm going to be a good mother. They don't have responsibility, don't have enough money to support the baby. Comments from society, and most people cannot handle society comments. It's depressing, it's enraging, it's draining. As a woman, when you're pregnant at that age, and then you come and tell and then let's go in the church. Let's start in the church. Not all women here are supportive, and I'm being plainly honest. Not all women will be supportive and saying, "Oh, you have a baby, congratulations." No, they'll ask you, "When you and your stupidity, what did you go and do with that man?"
That's because the church is more judgmental than actually Christ-like.
Exactly, and most people say it was my decision with him, and we said to keep the baby. So that's between me and him. That's a very strong mentality of me and him are in this together. But in the sort of way it comes, I am pregnant, and then you tell me no. Who am I? Me in my head, I don't know anything about raising a baby. My mother is gassing at me every single day, telling me I'm stupid, I'm a failure as a daughter, because I'm supposed to have read, supposed to go to college, I'm supposed to have done this for myself, to make myself build myself up, and then I disappoint her like that. Before your mother's eyes, I'm a failure there. To your father, he looks at you with disdain, he can even disown you and say this is my daughter.
I think
again,
one of the things before you go on, I think one of the challenges that we have in our generation right now is lack of identity. Because the things that you're speaking about, the shame and the things that come about from that experience, mean that the people that are around you most probably end up twisting or changing your character because they have power over the things that you believe in. And that is one thing that we need to change also in our generation, to a point where you know yourself. Even to that point, if you get pregnant, because I believe God has a purpose for each and every single child that is born on this earth. You cannot come and tell me, God forbid, I'm not saying this should be happening, God forbid someone gets raped, someone gets pregnant, someone gives birth to that baby. Someone can come to tell me now that that baby does not have purpose. You get? I believe every single human being that has been born on this earth has a purpose. So shida tu yetu ni hivi. We take autonomy on being God. Decision making. We forget that there are principles from the Bible in regards to life. Sisi tunataka tu kujua okay, ni sawa. Sisi mimi sitaki kutekea huu, forgetting you are not the one who has made this baby to be born. True. God could have decided for you to be barren. That's another situation also. Ungeenda huko udozi na msee hapo wewe ucheki, hey, sija get pregnant. Ure. You get married one day. You realize you can't get pregnant, so that it kicks in. By the other time ningekuwa pregnant ni venye tu sikujua I am barren. You get? So if we do not understand the reason as to why every single thing like this and situations are happening is because people do not know who they are. They do not know who's there. And then another thing that we also have as a problem is father wounds. Sana. Mother wounds iko pia, but father wounds. Lack of identity. Fathers being hurt by their fathers and other fathers being hurt by their fathers, and then leading to us, and then us hurting you, and you also were hurt by your father being there or not being there. So at the end of it, all of us are from that perspective of we are just going on cycles or circles? Circles, being lied to by the society that this is what a relationship should be. What is a relationship? I do not believe, okay, nastaki sasa ati najua inaweza kuwa pia another situation. I do not believe in dating. I do not believe in dating. I do not believe in dating. Dating is a cheat code for marriage. So? Because when people are dating, they do the same things that married people do. But the only right they have is they can leave each other without divorce.
Give me 5, my guy. No, it's a fact. He said a solid fact. Yeah.
So at the end of it, guys, I know that there might be controversies in regards to that statement. But think of it and seek yourself to ask yourself, when you call someone your girlfriend or boyfriend, what are they really? Because at a situationship, by the way, hadi sahi. Because I can come and say, by the way, from today, Mr. Ki relationship, but in real sense nimepata msee mwingine huko hivyo mwenye amesema. Maybe you might even have those values that we have talked about of marriage, sex after marriage. But there's another chile over there that has said, mazee mimi ndakupatia sahi, achana na ule dem. The guy comes and says, by the way, me story yezi, it's not you, it's me. And then me niende because I want to sleep with someone, forgetting that I am leaving a wife material here. Do you actually know that you become a wife before you become a wife?
Yes.
You're a wife in practicing, and the same guys for husbands. You're a husband in practice before you become a husband. So at the end of it, people want to be girlfriends. The Bible has never said he who finds a girlfriend finds a good thing. He has said he who finds a wife finds a good thing. But we want to bring in worldly context and worldly things into the Christian aspect, forgetting that they can never mesh. So, guys, hii conversation inaendelea, especially the two of us. Hii conversation inaendelea sana. Which camera am I looking at? The cameraman. Where are the cameramen? So now, this is just for you guys to understand. God is love. That's the first thing. You can never understand love if you don't know who you are. You cannot know who you are if you don't know whose you are. Unless you understand
English
God.
imekukata.
That's the truth.
You don't know whose
cannot
you are.
Understand who you are until you understand whose you are.
You belong to.
No, whose you are. Whose you are here is a correct English. Muneza ni correct. I am 100% sure whose you are is a something that is a statement.
All right.
So you cannot know who you are until you cannot know love until you know who you are. You cannot know who you are until you understand whose you are. Who are you? That is who you are. You are not what you do. Wise is not a dancer. Wise is not a videographer. Wise is not. Wise, that character and that person goes beyond the things that you do. But the person that reveals you to yourself is Christ. And until you understand Christ, you will never understand yourself. And then goes to relationships. You can never mix light and darkness. You can't come with the things of the world from the context of rings, to the context of dating, to the context of even abortion, and to the context of relationship aspects from the place of who comes with what and who brings what. At the end of it, in the spirit realm, we are equal in God's eyes. But that does not negate in the earthly realm. As I finish, in the earthly realm, I don't know which camera I'm looking at. In the earthly realm, Christ has put it from the perspective of the husband submits to Christ as the head of the church, and the wife and the husband are the bride of Christ. This is what most people also don't speak about. The two of us are the bride of Christ, meaning that we also submit to Christ. She submits to Christ and I submit to Christ, but she submits twice.
True.
To Christ and to the guy, to the husband.
Yeah.
But now you can't follow a person that does not know Christ. You can't follow a person that you clearly see has not submitted to Christ, because at the end of it, you will know them by their fruits. I can't come and say that I'm a believer and I walk by faith, but you don't see it through action. Love is not feelings. Love is action. You will not know them by their speech. You will know them by their lifestyle, by the things that they do, and how they conduct themselves in every single thing that they do. So at the end of it, mimi hata ukuja unipatie kiss ama ukuja tia wema tunakuja unadanganya dem fulani hapa, ama you go and lie to him, because I'm sure ladies also desire sex. Sindio?
It depends on the self-control, yes.
Nimekaa chini na wasichana wenye wanasema mimi nataka kukua na ujali because I just want to sleep with them and leave them.
Yeah, some
So
people
these
do
are
that.
things that happen.
Yeah.
So unless you know yourself, we'll be living in this cycle of getting, and especially in this current dispensation of this generation that we are living in right now. People are getting into relationships and leaving each other like higher, and the divorces are higher than the rates of marriage, by the way. You know that?
Yes.
Because we have allowed this to happen. It's become so normal for people to go through trauma and pain. And until we do something different, we cannot say that we are just speaking about the problems without being the solution. So, as we finish, Waimas, what can you tell the person that is watching and has been looking for love? What would you say to them?
Speak wisely. Speak
I'm
wisely.
not the best expert in this, but I'd encourage them to look up to Christ, but also to look up to people who have made it in, for example, marriage or relationships, because they'll give you hope. Because you know right now, like what you're saying, a lot of divorce is happening, and people are breaking up and stuff like that. So just to give you a clear headspace of where you want to be, I think looking up to people who are already there can give great help. And yeah, I think just trusting God, because that's also for me, because I'm in that journey as well. So I think that would really help. Yeah.
Because actually most of you might be asking yourself, why in the world should I be married to a lady and I can get whatever I am getting from marriage from the dating part.
True.
Because most people can sleep with each other. It's not like huku kitambo ati you cannot see my private parts until you wed
Put a
me.
ring on it.
Put a ring on it. Right now, someone can get to see your private parts without getting married to you.
True.
So someone might ask, why should I? And actually, that's one of the ideas that Andrew Kibe has that I do not accept. You get? So not saying that I agree with everything he says. I agree with some things that he says because some things are radical. But the reason as to why we are also called to be mature is to be able to take other people's opinions and still respect them. Because if you are able to speak your thoughts or to say the things that you want to say to me, then you risk offending me. Thoughts and your opinions come from a point of every single time you speak them, you risk offending Wymas and Wise. And the same goes for us. But we can't fear speaking just because we'll offend someone. But now the good thing is that there's that room for refinement.
But in this scenario, if you're talking about the dating, I disagree with the dating part. Do you know why? Because I feel like, yes, dating, people have made it so common to the point of, but dating is an important part in
Dating
a
is not in the
relationship.
Bible.
No, Jakata is not in the Bible, but it's also a small step to where you can actually get to it. But it's also not.
What's the
It's
difference
not against the
between dating and
Bible.
friendship?
Dating and friendship. See, friendship, we are bros. Dating is where I've acknowledged just my girlfriend and I've acknowledged just my boyfriend. Dating, I feel, is a very important step in relationship because it's the point where I get to know you. Friends and dating is very different things.
Have you ever had that statement of I became friends with them first, and that's the reason as to why our marriage has gone?
They always say if you want a marriage to last, become friends, best friends, then start dating.
So now, for me, this is what I think. Friendship has boundaries.
Yes,
Dating does not.
it does.
This is the problem.
If you're serious about dating, it does have boundaries.
Which boundaries?
For example, we can say
Because you sleep together?
not
touch each
not all
other?
of them. Not all of
Most
them.
of them.
Most. That's what I said for those who have made it to
And
become
then
a
the
very
foundation
common
of it
thing.
will be- If the foundation is wrong, that thing will not start.
Exactly.
And the foundation of dating never came from the perspective of getting into a relationship with someone with the context of getting married. It never started from that part. And even when we say we are dating, it's like this. When you go to your parents and say, Ati, I'm dating this person, most of the times, nasema, okay, ni sawa. The only time they start getting serious is when you come and tell them, he's my fiance or we are engaged. You get? That's the time people actually start, okay. So now, let's start knowing him better.
Do you
But
know
now-
why?
Mhm.
Do you know that happens? Because at that the dating period time is where it's also a make and break situation. It's not official.
Then that-
It's not
that can
permanent.
happen during friendship.
But then again as well, be in that marriage yenyewe, so they still break. Hata kama unasherehekea, yes,
Sawa,
bado
lakini
bado
sasa, the only
ilivunjika.
problem I have with dating is this, because I have done it. I'm not speaking from ignorance. I have dated people with the context of najua huyu naweza achana na yeye because I'm dating 5 other women at the same time.
So that's your mentality.
No. It's not my mentality. It's the mentality of dating
Not
that people have
everyone.
been. Okay, because you can't bring in Christ and dating at the same point.
No, why not?
Because it's not the same thing. It does not come from the same source.
Dating.
Dirty water and clean water cannot.
Okay, sawa. Achana dating yako ya ushamba, unafanya five people at the
Where
same
did dating
time.
come from?
No, okay, for me dating, I think it's been brought in by the Western culture, okay? It's a place where that's people say there's dating, engaged, and marriage, okay? Dating is a point where you get to know your partner in a manner of where dating is where you know, am I going to go for this person or am I not going to go for it? That's why most people take a long time to propose. Because most people take advantage of dating and saying, no, we are dating, we've been together for 5 years. That's a sham.
Why can that be friendship?
Dating, it cannot.
Why?
Because friendship right now, I will monogamize it to a friend zone. There's friend zone and then there's engagement zone, okay? Friend zone means we will be nothing
You see,
more than
unaona
friends.
kenye umesema hapo hivyo? Engagement?
Engagement zone and
That
friend
is not
zone.
dating.
That's
It's
no.
a different thing.
I'm giving person the two.
Guys,
Hey.
time is almost up. Ladies and gentlemen, this will continue next time. If you have questions about dating, na mimi bado si agree, I don't believe in that thing.
Sham.
But I have done
It's
it.
a sham.
I have done it before, but I do not accept it because I have seen where it leads.
And you had the
Dating-
proof. Nah.
Dating. The prerequisite of dating, 90% of the times, leads to breakups. Why? Breakups and soul ties. Because the
Okay,
moment you
so-
get yourself into a relationship with someone and you do not know if you are going to get married to them, then you have opened a loophole where this person can explore your body, and you can try and say that no, but most times if you are dating someone, most times lazima uchali atakushika ama lazima dem pia atasema manze kwani hakuna kitu ina happen
if you are not using the Bible as a forefront for relationship.
Relax, let me finish. That's the reason as to why I'm saying I don't agree with dating. So now when you come to the point of being Christ-like and I approach you, do you know what will happen?
I'll slap you.
The reason as to why, no, relax. Sasa umeanza kuwa boy na sasa hapa. So now the reason as to I would approach you from this context. I would not approach you to be my girlfriend. I would approach you from the point of I have seen you and I have seen that you are a wife. Because I am not looking for he who finds a girlfriend. This is where we are getting things wrong. I am looking for a wife. When I see your character and I see how you relate with people, and the reason as to why I would become a friend to you first, to get to understand you, and I know for sure I would not get to know every single thing at once, because najua utasema, see, you are friends, you can't tell or you won't tell me everything. Also, even in dating and engagement, people also hide a lot of things.
Yes.
Watu wanaoana ndo 10 years later you get to realize something that you never knew could happen. But now the main thing is tukiwa pamoja, tumepatana, mimi looking at your character, getting to know you kidogo generally, then situations such as this, I ask you one question. Why must kama ni yendo anakudate ama ako in a relationship na wewe ama ni friend anakuuliza hiyo swali, and then I'm listening. You get? And then it's intentionality from the guy's side to this point. If I am sure you are wife material, or not even wife material, that's also worldly context. If I am sure that you are a wife, the only thing is that I have not married you yet, but you are a wife in the making, then I come to you and tell you, niaje, sawa, I have seen you and I would love to pursue this to marriage. Meaning, if you agree, I would love for us to get to have intentional, not zile there's a dating ati tunapatana pale Pizza Inn, tunajibamba, tunaenda sijui wapi, tuna dance pamoja. No. Intentional questions and deep questions that people who are going to get married ask each other. We have that. Then, when we reach a point of, manze usemi siwezi muoa, then we decide and say, okay, ni sawa. But at
You've
the end of
just
it,
said
I
it's
acknowledge
intentional dating.
No, it's not intentional dating. That is not dating. Please remove that word. I think shidangu niyo jina watu wangu. I do not believe in that word.
What would you call it? Intentional what? Intentional what? You have to have a name for it.
Intentional friendship.
Guys, that's
What is
I'm
friendship?
done. Cut
What
this
is
short.
friendship? What is friendship?
You need to know each other.
What is friendship?
Getting to know friendship is
What
friends.
is friendship? Who is a friend?
Bro, my friend.
Do you know that there's a verse in the Bible that says a friend can be close to you than a brother?
Yes.
A friend is someone who can be there for you when no one else is. If you decide, ndo maana mnawitanga wengine best friend. You get?
He sticks closer than a brother.
Yeah.
Christ is a friend that sticks closer than a brother.
Una get? And if you are Christ-like, it is your obligation to get to understand who I am and how I am and what I do, to a point where you understand me even without getting to be in a relationship with me. Now the other thing that we have, which is a misconception, is friendship. We have taken that word and twisted it to a point where people no longer want to have friends, because you get to know someone and you clearly, venye tu ulisema tukianza, tutakuwa naongelesha Waimas alafu kujoniongelesha, then I spill everything about him. You get? Like, there is no water and there is no value to that word itself. And that's the thing that we need to bring back. The same friendship as David and Jonathan. That kind of friendship where unajua mse to a point where Christ na John, as much as walikuwa cousins, they knew each other. Like our say walikuwa so close that they could feel each other's pain. And that can happen without you dating someone. Si ndio Waimas? Unaweza kaa chini na boys, hiyo ni kama sasa unaniambia ati ndio niko close na huyo mse. No, not ndio niko close na Waimas sasa ati lazima nimdate. I can know him without being that specific person. Which means if Waimas is intentional enough, he can ask you specific questions and you can get to share to a specific point. And this is why unasikianga there's a time kama Waimas anakudate, Waimas anaweza jam akikuja nione mimi na wewe, alafu unaambia Waimas mimi na wewe ni friends, but Waimas anaona una relate na mimi more. But the reality might be I'm just intentional.
How would you call her? Kama si dating, how would you call her?
Ati?
Jumesema this thing about boyfriend and
Intentional
girlfriend.
friendship.
No, what would you call her?
Call who?
Because if you can't call her boyfriend and girlfriend, what would you call her?
I will call you a friend until I call you a wife. Why should I call you? And then this is the other problem. Why do you need to put a label on anything until you are a wife? See, when you know yourself, you know that you are a wife. Sindio? Why should you decide to lower your standard to be a girlfriend? Think about it from that perspective. You are a wife in the making. That's your value. Alafu mtu anakuja anataka kukushukisha kwa girlfriend as who? Because you know, if you are a wife, you have your values. And no one can just come and say, hey. Because if you give them that access, then that means that they are your husband. Ni venye tu you haven't consummated yet. And then sisi tunaharibu, tunaenda tunadose pamoja, alafu bado tunaachana. This is why soul ties are there. But ladies and gentlemen, we'll get to continue this thing next time. It has been an amazing thing. You are going to say the last comment, that person who is looking for love. I'm a last. Sijui utamwambia.
Hey, come on, last one, look at me. Go to him. He'll help you.
No.
But anyway, guys, if you are looking for love, I'd say trust yourself. Be your own person who knows what they want. Don't depend. You see, like these fools, they will mislead you.
I'm not a fool.
This fool will mislead you. But trust your own self. Be your own person. But have that one person who you can also get advice from. Someone who you can trust with all your being to tell you. Who will also, like, so those people who call you out kama umfanye makosa and they don't care. Who will call it and tell you this is wrong. But if you're doing it, you're gonna go through a bad path. But even though you go through it, I'm gonna be there for you. So just know who you are, know what you're doing, know where you're going. And ladies, have a mindset where you know who you're with, know who you're going to be with, and know if that person is gonna be a long term. But if you're going through challenges as well, be a mother. You see, people say well, in a relationship you become the mother and become the child. Sit down and talk. Because if you have a problem with me, let's sit down and talk. So that's my advice. But otherwise, guys, it's been lovely with this debate, this idiot and this idiot number 2. We'd love to see you guys next time.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not a child, by the way, so if you come and speak to me, if you're in a relationship, don't speak to me like a child, speak to me like a man. And also one thing that I can tell all the ladies, most women do not know that they have power over men.
Amen.
But now this is the problem.
Talk
This is the
about.
problem. Until you understand that from the context of submission. Submission is not something that is readily available that ladies can just be. It is something that you have to die to self so that you can be. So, ladies, wherever you are, know this. Submission is the key for you to have power over men. But that does not mean you should take that power and use it as death. Most men in the Bible have been brought down, by the way. Most kings in the Bible wameangushwa na wanawake. Unajua hiyo?
I know.
Then that means madam wako na power over men.
Yes.
So, thinking about that, how did they do that? They did that by submission. But now I'm not saying
I also got a debate.
ladies you go and submit just for the context of taking over the man's mind. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is a relationship can thrive when the woman knows her role and the man knows her role.
Cut it short. This thing is over.
Ladies and gentlemen, love. God is love in each and every single thing. Seek Christ first, and it is Him we preach in each and every single thing. The Spawn Podcast. Be blessed.